我很喜欢能够幽默的男人，能够经常和我开玩笑的。我现在呢，希望能够交往欧洲的男朋友，因为他们特别的幽默。
Sincerity or pure performance, but never in arranged dates. After so many episodes with bizarre male participants, today we have something out of the ordinary. Let me introduce today's protagonist, nicknamed by many as the female Buffett of Chongqing. She is 34 years old, 1.61 m tall, with a monthly income of around 5,000. Overall, not exactly bad conditions, right? But something doesn't add up. It's hard not to feel that her real age was left out of the presentation. Dark circles under her eyes and an exaggerated shade of pink give her a mismatched, almost unsettling look. If she hadn't stated her age herself, I could easily believe she was already past 50, and when it comes to choosing a partner, she makes it clear, what she really wants is a European man.
我性格开朗，交往过几个男朋友，分手呢，主要因为对方性格太差了。我很喜欢能够幽默的男人，能够经常和我开玩笑的。我现在呢，希望能够交往欧洲的男朋友，因为他们特别的幽默。
Guest, could you please speak in a more natural way? You're past 30. It doesn't make sense to still imitate a teenager's tone of voice. It creates unnecessary awkwardness. As for her requirements regarding a partner, it's better not to go into detail. Anyone who follows this type of show already knows what I mean. Another point that stands out is how she behaves while talking to the matchmaker. She can't sit still, constant gestures, faces, and movements that give the impression of restlessness. It's worth noting a curious detail. Today's matchmaker is 32, only 3 years younger than the guest. Seeing the two together, the difference in posture is striking. These behaviors raise doubts about how the interaction will play out. On the other side, we have the male participant, 36 years old, with a monthly income of around 7,000. His appearance and demeanor reflect a more traditional profile, someone honest, hardworking, and straightforward. And this is confirmed, through his own effort, he has already secured a home in Chongqing. His expectations for choosing a partner are also simple. He's looking for someone without unnecessary complications. After much anticipation, the two finally meet. At first, there seemed to be some mutual good impression. But once they entered the private room, the situation became increasingly strange. When the man introduced his group of friends and family, the guest reacted in an unusual way, tilting her head back, making exaggerated expressions, and even letting out a yawn.
这位呢？
这个是我母亲。
阿姨。这个呢？弟弟。哇，你今天这是全家出动啊，又有朋友，又有家人的，啊？喂？怎么犯困了吗？
啊，对呀，有一点呢。
哎，你我很年轻了。
没睡好。
这个
状态哎。
今天这个状态是。
A woman already in her 30s, yet with no manners. It's as if she had lived in vain. Greeting people is the most basic thing, even a 3-year-old child knows that. And on top of not greeting anyone, she even turned her back on the male participant's family. What kind of behavior is that? Faced with such a lack of manners, the matchmaker quickly tried to smooth things over, asking the two to sit down and chat to ease the awkwardness. But something unexpected happened. That decision only made the atmosphere even more embarrassing. The guest began bragging about her supposed hobbies, saying she liked economics, current affairs, and stock trading. The problem is that this was exactly the man's area of expertise. He even understood systematic investment funds. Perhaps realizing she was about to be exposed, the guest quickly shifted the subject and started boasting about investing in the US stock market.
我要买美国股票的。
美国股票的，中国股票也在跌。
你有买中国股票？
啊。
太难了，炒中国股票。
美国的股票也是不好操作。
不会啊，美国的好炒一些呀。
美国的股票怎么炒？
上市公司的背景呢，比较好一点。有些呢，金融方面的那个年报啊，还有它收益啊，这些还是不错的。基本上买到呢，还是有一定的盈利的。
哪家公司有？
微软呢？
哦。First, she wanted a European boyfriend. Then she refused to invest in Chinese stocks and only talked about American ones. This is practically sheepdog behavior. And please, Next time you want to brag, at least do some research online first. Memorizing a few terms and then making things up doesn't fool anyone. But the man didn't really understand these tricks. Naive and honest, he ended up being taken in by her words. Sensing an opportunity, the guest pushed further and asked directly. If the two were to get married, she wanted to be a full-time housewife, while the man went out to earn money, and she would stay at home spending it and speculating in the stock market. But between dream and reality, there's a big gap. Hearing this request, the man came back to his senses and refused. Since he didn't fall for the trap, the guest got irritated. She tried to backtrack, saying that maybe she could still work, that being a full-time housewife wasn't realistic at the moment. But the atmosphere was already heavy. When asked why, she replied, "Oh, he's from the countryside, the mindset is different, there may be a gap." On top of that, she commented that the man's appearance didn't match what she was aiming for. Seriously? How does someone say something like that in public? Given the way she presented herself, wanting to be a housewife already sounded absurd, even more so wanting to impose standards on others. And ironically, she herself was just an ordinary city worker. So why look down on someone from the countryside? The man grew furious and got up to leave. His mother and younger brother rushed to calm him down. Even so, the situation remained awkward. The guest then started talking about height preferences, saying she wanted someone at least 1.80 m tall. The problem? The man was only 1.60 m. This made it clear she had no real interest. It seemed like she just wanted to embarrass him. After a long conversation, instead of being honest, she kept circling around, leaving the man increasingly uncomfortable. When he was about to give up, she tried to make amends, saying she had expressed herself poorly and that they could keep talking. But even her apology sounded like a scolding, as if she were superior. Even so, the man, with his patience, agreed to continue and even took her to see where he lived. During the visit, her behavior only got worse. First, she criticized the house, said it was old and without an elevator, and wanted to know if there was any chance it would be demolished to make room for a new one. Inside the apartment, she sat down as if she owned the place, even giving opinions about the tenant's rent, demanding that it be raised. That crossed the line. Interfering in matters that weren't hers, right in front of the tenant, was sheer lack of sense. And if they had actually gotten married, who could guarantee she wouldn't do the same with everything else? In the end, as expected, it didn't work out. Her justification? That the man was from the countryside, not handsome, and lacked a sense of humor. But in reality, it was his liberation. Her arrogant posture, disguised as charm, was simply embarrassing. With every exaggerated expression, her lack of balance became more obvious. To be honest, in many moments she even looked around the same age as the man's mother. He and his family were honest, simple people. She, clearly, had nothing to add to their lives. If she really wants it so badly, better to learn foreign languages and try her luck in Europe with this European boyfriend she idealizes. Because here, the role she played was disastrous, reminiscent of infamous cases of eccentric figures. In the end, the impression she left was clear. There was something wrong, especially in her emotional state and her way of acting.
It's hard to understand where this woman got the idea that she needs a European man to fix her life. It's as if she believes that a different passport is the key to happiness, as if culture or nationality alone could magically solve her personal frustrations. But throughout the entire meeting, what became clear wasn't some higher standard she supposedly held, but rather a collection of strange and contradictory behaviors, lack of manners, disproportionate demands, and a worldview completely disconnected from reality. Think about it. The woman sat there, acting as if she were above everyone else, yet even the simplest gestures of politeness were missing. No greeting, no attempt to build rapport with the man's family, and instead, she turned her back and carried herself with an attitude that came off not as confidence, but as arrogance. For someone who claims to have refined expectations, her conduct exposed the opposite. It was awkward, ungracious, and, in many ways, embarrassing. The contrast with the man couldn't be greater. On one side, a simple, hardworking guy who managed to buy his own home through dedication and persistence. He may not have been flashy, he may not fit into her idealized fantasy of a tall, European gentleman, but his qualities were clear: responsibility, stability, and sincerity. On the other side, We saw someone dreaming of living off appearances, expecting someone else to bankroll her whims, while she indulges in stock market speculation and idle daydreams about a life abroad. And the most curious part is the contradiction. She openly criticizes men from the countryside, saying they lack sophistication, but she herself displayed the most rustic and unrefined behavior on stage. From exaggerated gestures to careless remarks, every action made her appear less like someone seeking genuine connection and more like someone desperate to impress with empty words. If anyone in that encounter lacked refinement, it wasn't the man, it was her. Her comments about only wanting a European man highlight something deeper, a kind of internalized inferiority complex. Instead of valuing the qualities of the man in front of her, she projects all her hopes onto the idea of Europe, as if humor and happiness were exclusive exports of the West. But what she truly revealed was not admiration for foreign culture, but disdain for her own environment and people, and ironically, such disdain only made her look smaller. So here's the real question. Is this desire for a European boyfriend really about romance and humor, as she claims, or is it just another way of escaping her own reality? Is she chasing love, or is she simply trying to run away from who she is and where she comes from? After all, if someone can't respect their own roots, what kind of respect could they possibly offer in a relationship? This whole blind date turned into more than just an awkward exchange. It became a mirror reflecting social tensions between rural and urban, east and west, reality and illusion. It shows us how far some people will go to reject their own background while idealizing something they don't even understand. And it forces us to ask, is this really about love, or is it about status? Is it about connection, or just about showing off? Now I'll hand it over to you. What do you think of this behavior? Is it cluelessness, illusion, or pure self-interest? Do you see it as a personal problem, or a symptom of something bigger in society where some people are so desperate to escape their reality that they cling to fantasies of wealth, appearance, or foreign validation? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this is a topic that sparks a lot of debate, and I want to know where you stand.